Manchester City's struggles continue as Aston Villa pulled off a stunning 2-1 victory at Villa Park. From defensive collapses to wasted chances, this match exposed serious cracks in Pep Guardiola's tactical setup. Villa, on the other hand, delivered a performance full of grit, organization, and clinical finishing to earn a well-deserved win. Welcome to my channel. If you're a football fan looking for in-depth match analysis, tactical breakdowns, and the latest updates, you're in the right place. Let's dive into how this epic clash unfolded and what it means for both teams moving forward. City were outrun by Unai Emery's side, who rediscovered their form with a stirring performance in front of their home fans. It was a day to forget for Jack Grealish, City's brightest player on his return to Villa Park, who was booed throughout another lackluster performance from Guardiola's team. Villa started brightly, and Duran had the chance to open the scoring after just 15 seconds. The striker converted his second opportunity to finish a flowing move on 15 minutes, instigated by a brilliant Yuri Tielemans pass. Dominant after halftime, Rodgers wrapped up victory on the hour. City had no response, with Erling Haaland anonymous and Kevin De Bruyne remaining on the bench throughout as an unused substitute. Phil Foden pulled one back with seconds left, but it was little too late as City dropped to sixth in the table, with Villa climbing into fifth. Manchester City's 2-1 defeat to Aston Villa was not just about missed chances. It was a match that exposed tactical flaws in Pep Guardiola's approach. Let's break down the tactical missteps that contributed to their downfall. 1. Into the spaces behind the defense. The opening goal by John Duran was a perfect example. Yuri Tielemans and Morgan Rodgers combined to bypass City's midfield and defense in just a few passes. Without the pace and presence of a fully fit Ruben Dias and a struggling John Stones, City's defense looked disorganized and was caught out multiple times. Villa's response: they deliberately targeted the spaces left by City's advanced fullbacks, forcing City's center-backs into uncomfortable one-on-one situations. Over-reliance on possession without penetration. Manchester City dominated possession, as expected, but struggled to turn it into meaningful attacking threats. Villa's midfield, led by Douglas Luiz and Tielemans, stayed compact and denied City space in central areas. City's flaw: there was a lack of creativity in the final third. Kevin De Bruyne's absence due to injury meant no one could deliver those killer passes to break Villa's low defensive block. Villa's setup. Villa employed a mid-to-low block with disciplined defensive lines, forcing City wide and into predictable crosses that were easily dealt with by Tyrone Mings and Pau Torres. Third, ineffective pressing and transition defense. Manchester City's famed pressing game was unusually disjointed. When they lost the ball, Villa were able to transition quickly and with purpose, often catching City's midfield out of position. Bernardo Silva and Mateo Kovacic failed to provide sufficient defensive cover, leaving Villa with time and space to build counterattacks. Villa's exploitation: Unai Emery set his team up to bypass the press with quick vertical passes, especially through Tielemans and McGinn, which consistently unsettled City's defensive shape. City's predictable build-up allowed Villa to focus their defensive efforts on that side while maintaining attacking threats on the opposite flank. Struggling to feed Haaland, Erling Haaland was isolated for much of the match, receiving minimal service. Despite his movement off the ball, City's midfielders failed to create chances for him. Tactical gap. Without De Bruyne's creative spark, City's midfield couldn't unlock Villa's defense, leaving Haaland to feed on scraps. His missed header in the first half was one of the few chances he had. 6. Substitutions came too late. Guardiola's tactical changes, including the introduction of Jeremy Doku, came too late in the match to make a significant impact. By the time City started to show urgency, Villa had already settled into a solid defensive shape, protecting their lead with ease. Conclusion: lessons for City. This match highlighted the challenges Manchester City are currently facing. 1. Defensive disorganization. The high line needs better coordination, especially against teams that are strong on the counter. 2. Lack of creativity in midfield. De Bruyne's absence has left a creative void that City need to address quickly. Third, predictable attacking play. Relying on possession alone isn't enough when up against a disciplined and well-drilled side like Villa. Pep Guardiola will need to rethink his tactics going forward, particularly against teams that can defend deep and transition quickly. For now, Aston Villa deservedly take the plaudits for their tactical discipline and execution.